is just continuing on here as Mallow wish Kilmurray 3 cheers for a very fine team performance. Broken hearted, I can see from up here. The Kilmurray players go off the pitch and there'll be many talking points. They just can't believe that they lost this one. And Mallow, in contrast, absolutely over the moon at the moment as the speeches continue. But meanwhile, Liam Nash has gone off to meet a few players, people involved with both teams. And while he's doing that, I have been joined by Cork football star Niall Cahalane for this county senior football final. Niall, you're very welcome to RT 89 FM, Cork Local Radio, bringing you live the county final. Delighted to have you, Niall. Now, you have obviously been playing with Castlehaven, playing with Cork. You know what the county championship is about. So far this year, you've seen, I'm sure, Skibbereen and Nemo. Who has impressed you most?
Yeah, I think I haven't seen Nemo actually this year, Marty, but Nemo at any stage, you know. Most of their panel have played at some stage or some grade with Cork, you know. But against that, Skibbereen, like, they'd only be in the road for me at home. So certainly I've seen them, and they have improved an awful lot to what the Skibbereen team has evolved.
Yeah, when I was doing my research for today's match, I was impressed by the number of players that have played into county. I noticed mine on 21, obviously Anthony and Mick McCarthy have been playing with you at senior level, but they have plenty of experience to cope with a county final day.
Oh, they would have, and plus the fact that they have won at minor grade county championship at minor grade and under 21 grade, you know, so that county finals wouldn't be anything new to these players. But it's a big day, senior county final. You know.
Where do you see the winning and losing of this match?
Both sets of forwards seem to be very strong. Both teams certainly have 6 forwards that are capable of winning the game on their own. I think centre field is going to be a major factor. Whoever is going to win centre field, I think, will certainly, I think, will go a long way to winning it.
Now, the weather conditions here, at least it's not raining, thanks be to God at the moment, but there is a very strong breeze and it's very much going down to the Blackrock end. What way would you, if you were in Skibbereen being a West Cork man, what would you do if you won the toss? Would you play with it or against it?
Well, I suppose from a small bit of experience, we came up against St. Finbarrs in '89. Decided to play against the wind if we won the toss. Now, whether we won it or not, I don't know, but we ended up playing against the wind, Marty. And we went in, I think was it a point down at half time or something, coming out playing with a strong breeze. And certainly that's the way I would be thinking, you know.
This Nemo team, I know you haven't seen them, but they're Nemo, as you said in your start there, Nemo, they play the same sort of brand of football. But there's been a lot of controversy over the Nemo-Bishopstown match. Stephen O'Brien is gone, suspensions. Nemo couldn't really pick their team until Thursday of this week. What effect would you think that would have on Nemo?
Definitely it will affect them in some small way. Stephen O'Brien is certainly going to be a major loss. I don't think there's any inter-county team or club team in the country can afford to be without the likes of Stephen O'Brien.
Determined that this is going to be Nemo's 10th success and 10th championship victory. We'll see as the St. Falkner's Skibbereen band about to play another tune. We'll take a very brief commercial break.
Big names at Ballincollig Furniture include Coyle and Rossmore, and when it comes to beds, King Coyle and O'Dearest. Ballincollig Furniture at Naglin have a huge selection of quality kitchen, dining and occasional furniture and are open 7 days a week with ample parking.
The fleet is in at Turner's Cross Motors. Yes, our 1992 fleet of 2- and 3-month-old cars are back at Turner's Cross. And you can save up to £1,900 on some of these models. Turner's Cross Motors, Kinsale Road, Cork.
Borrowed Humour presents at City Hall, Cork on Thursday, the 24th of September, one of the world's great tenors, Alexei Stevyanko, soprano Larissa Shevchenko, and violinist Geraldine O'Grady. Tickets at Kelly's Grand Parade Cork, concessions available. Sean's Electrical are offering the best trade-in deals in town. Up to £60 on washing machines, £40 on cookers and fridges. Remember, Sean offers quality brands, long-term guarantees, personal service and attention. Buy from Sean's, your main Zanussi dealer. Sean's Electrical, Temple Hill, Ballinlough, phone 294 617.
At Lyons Tea, we wondered when is the best time to come round to a better brew. So, we went round the country.
When you've rounded up all the kids and packed them off to school.
Oh, every time the tea trolley comes round.
When friends call round.
round midnight.
Round about 11. It's my idea of heaven.
When you've been around as long as I have, any time. Round about now?
Lions round tea bags. Have you come round to a better brew?
89 FM, Cork!
Welcome back here to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. O'Donovan, Rossa, Skibbereen are out on the pitch in their red and white jerseys to a very warm reception. Certainly West Cork, everybody must be at Páirc Uí Chaoimh because they got a huge welcome. But to find out what's happening locally, nationally, here's Pat McCauliffe.
Yes, we'll have news from various places around the country and locally as well today. We'll have news, of course, from St. Comas Park, Ballygarvan and also in Nolan Park. And it's with League of Ireland Soccer we begin, the Board Gosh League of Ireland down to St. Comas Park. And good news for Cork fans is that coming up to half-time, Cork City leads St. Patrick's Athletic by 1-0. City starting well there. Cormac Connor hitting a post early in the game, and in front of a crowd of over 700, Pat Morley has put them ahead after 21 minutes shooting home from the edge of the box. We'll keep you up to date with the half-time score a little later on. Also news from the Ballygarvan where there are 3 matches there, a triple header. The first match there today was the Southeast Junior B hurling final, and the result there was Belgooley 1 goal and 17 points, Crosshaven 2 goals and 4 points. The second match there at the moment into the second half is the B football championship final in the Southeast. Valley Rovers 1-3, Ballinhassig 6 points. Ballinhassig scoring the last 4 points there to come back and level the scores. And elsewhere we have news also from the Under-21 All-Ireland final. That game just starting at Nolan Park. It's Offaly 2 points, Waterford 1 point. Waterford, of course, hoping to win an All-Ireland Championship, their minors having lost last week. And finally we have news of the Italian Grand Prix, where it wasn't a good day for Nigel Mansell. He retired after 42 laps, and that exciting Grand Prix was won by Ayrton Senna. That's the news. We'll have further news for you a little later on. It's back to Marty.
Thanks very much, Pat. Just discussing here while Pat was giving us an update there about the attendance here. We estimate, Niall Callahan and myself, approximately 10,000 people, Niall, which is a very good attendance for a county football final.
Yeah, I'd say, about the 10,000, I'd say, which is a big attendance.
And certainly as we arrived into Páirc Uí Chaoimh, busloads, supporters coming from Nemo, from Skibbereen, virtually everybody seems to be going in one direction, and that is to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. And Richard Murphy, the referee from Lyre, in very impressive outfit, new gear indeed, wearing white jersey, black togs, black socks with a green band, and he was tossing up the coin, and from what I could see anyway, it was Nemo's decision, and Niall Creedon won the toss. What way they're playing, I didn't actually see, Niall, I didn't see what way they decided. There was no clear indication, at least.
Yeah, there was no clear indication, Marty, but from what I could see, I think Nemo have decided to play against the wind.
So just while the teams are kicking the ball out around the place, Nemo at the city end, O'Donovan Rossa at the Blackrock end, kicking the ball around, trying to get rid of nerves. I'll just give you a rundown on the O'Donovan Rossa Skibbereen team. In goals, Kevin O'Dwyer. Full back line, John Evans, John O'Donovan, Frank McCarthy. Half back line, Gino Driscoll. Centre half back, Anthony Davis, and left half back, Ian Breen. Midfield will be Dennis O'Driscoll and Brian O'Donovan. And as Niall was saying earlier, this area, these players will play a crucial role to see if they can cope with the presence of Shea Fahy and Timmy Dalton for Nemo. Dennis O'Driscoll, Brian O'Donovan, a lot of responsibility today. Half forward line, Pat Davis. Centre forward, Joe Driscoll, and left half forward, John Davis. Full forward line, John Brady. Full forward is Mick McCarthy, the captain, and left corner forward is Neville Murphy. Nemo Rangers will interesting battle against players that have won All-Ireland medals at all levels in both camps, and you can see a little bit of anxiety, nerves as the players march around. O'Donovan Rossa appearing in their very first championship final, and as they march behind the St. Buckness Skibbereen band, Niall, there must be nerves in the Skibbereen camp.
Yeah, they're bound to be nervous, certainly bound to be nervous. But against that, as we were saying earlier on, a lot of them have played in inter-county level at some grade. Plus the fact that a few of them had played with Buckness when they won the All-Ireland colleges, you know. So there's a lot of experience there as well.
So as the teams march between the 45 and 20 metre line at Blackrock End, it's Nemo and O'Donovan Rossa. And certainly players, if you might be interested to know about the numbers on the jerseys, that's because Nemo Rangers gave selection from their county semi-final, and they kept with that because of the doubt about so many of their players possibly missing today's final due to suspension. As it turned out, at the County Board disciplinary meeting, only Stephen O'Brien is missing. So Timmy Dalton, Paul Donovan, all able to play, and of course Frank McCarthy from O'Donovan Rossa Skibbereen also given a clean bill of health to play in this county final. For the very first time, of course, Richard Murphy will be refereeing this county final, so it's an anxious day for him as well. Nemo Rangers have an incredible record really in county finals. They lost their first in 1972 to Muskerry, and they've appeared in 9 finals after that and have won each and every one of them. So it's an impressive record. Paths to the finals, let me just give you the Nemo path. They beat Beara by 212 to 1-6, UCC 112 to 1-3, and Bishopstown 411 to 111. While O'Donovan Rossa beat Immokalee by 7 points, Duhallow by 2-9 to 9, Muskerry by 4 points, and then Ahada by 1-8 to 6 points. It's a very, very impressive path to get to this county final by both teams. And in the Kelleher Shield, when they met Niall, Nemo Rangers just won by 1 point. That was below in Skibbereen.
That's right. Nemo only beat them actually by a last-minute goal at the dying minutes of the game.
So the teams now in a huddle, and it'll be interesting if they stay there for the national anthem, because they could well be facing a fine. Nemo are going into their positions, while O'Donovan Rossa are still grouped on just inside the 65-metre line at the Black Rock end, at the far side, just a few metres in from the sideline, just having a last few words saying, this is it, lads, this is the moment we've been working for a long, long time. Club founded in 1887, they lost the junior final to Mitchelstown in 1961, but came of age in 1985 when they joined the senior ranks. Of course, they won the intermediate title. Wonderful atmosphere in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Nemo Rangers, the kingpins of Cork football for so many years, their last title in 1988, face O'Donovan Rossa for the very first time in a county final. As Richard Murphy from Lyre checks with his umpires, telling the Nemo half forwards to stay up. As we look at our stopwatch, 1 hour will decide, just over an hour, will decide the county final. And away we go. The county final of 1992 underway. Nemo getting their first touch, sending it up towards their centre-half forward there, Dennis O'Sullivan. This is Timmy Dalton, one of the doubtful players before the start of this county final. Getting inside the O'Donovan Rossa 45-metre line, held onto the ball for too long, and it's the first free for Skibbereen. And coming out to take it will be fullback John O'Donovan. John, electrical engineer. In fact, he's leaving it to John Evans. And John, 37-year-old, hoping to add on a medal that has eluded him in his marvellous career. Senior County Championship medal. Gino Driscoll sending a ball deep. Falls nicely from Neville Murphy. Coming across is Paddy Dorgan, and Paddy gets a boot to it and sends it out for 45. That's a good long ball. It's a long ball, of course, economical, and it always causes a little bit of problems for a defence.
That's right. Being a back myself, I suppose you hate to see this long ball of a hit and hope in, because certainly if you're fast corner forwards in on top of a break, that's where goals come from, Marty.
So this very first 45 going to be taken by Anthony Davis, the detective Garda from Anglesey Street Garda Station. White gloves on, sending in a ball which is causing no problems to Nemo. That's the first wide for O'Donovan Rossa. And of course, like all new teams playing in county finals, big days, an early score can settle a team. And that, no doubt, will be what O'Donovan Rossa will be hoping for.
Certainly, if O'Donovan Rossa can get an early score or two, it's going to settle all the nerves and things like that. You know, Dale, I thought that Anthony might even float that into the square more than actually go for a score from it, you know.
So O'Donovan Rossa playing with wind advantage in this first half, playing into the Blackrock end. Ball cleared, goes down towards Effie Fitzgerald, playing it left half forward, despite wearing number 11. And he's just called outside the Skibbereen 65. An easy ball, however, for the Skibbereen defence. Back they come again. A ball aimed at Mick McCarthy. Now Creedon losing his footing. Mick McCarthy from 45 metres out, sending a ball which is tailing to the right and wide. And maybe I'm being a little bit too critical now, but is there a slight bit of over-anxiety in Skibbereen to get a quick score?
That's right there now. I thought that Mick actually could have even slipped inside his man there and played the ball inside for Dunarty. Kicking from virtually 60 yards out as he was at the time, you know. They should steady it down a bit more, I think.
So the first kick out for Don Heafy from Turner's Cross. The apprentice Tyler sending it over towards Effie Fitzgerald, well gathered, bursting his way past several challenges from Skibbereen. Tony Nation being fouled, being held up by John Brady, and for dissent, John Brady being spoken to by the referee, and Tony Nation told that he wants, the referee rather wants, the free to be taken from where the foul was committed. So Tony Nation, just a few metres in from the sideline here, dead smack in front of us, inside his own 65. Going back to gather is Pat Davis, one of three brothers on this Skibbereen team, and that's another free for O'Donovan Rossa. Another free for John Evans, All-Star 1982. Two All-Stars in this O'Donovan Rossa team, Tony Davis being the other. Mind you, there was 8 years of a difference between the awards, but it doesn't matter to Skibbereen. This being gathered by Keith Horgan. That ball sent in towards John Evans. Cut away, however, as Nemo keep the pressure on. This is Joe Kavda. And the ball had gone out over the line and wide. So an easy kick out for Kevin Dwyer. Referee having a little bit of a nudge and a wink there with his umpire, because it looked like if it was a free out for O'Donovan Rossa, but however it's a kick out for Kevin O'Dwyer, electronic engineering student in the Regional Technical College, man who won an All-Ireland minor medal in 91 and an All-Ireland colleges medal in 91 with the famous St. Faulkner's. Coming of age here at senior ranks, Skibbereen. Referee saying there was a free as a result of the Nemo players pushing the Skibbereen lads just inside their own 45-metre line. Gino Driscoll to take it. Man who transferred from Cara 4 years ago, ex-Carberry player, and a coach and selector with O'Donovan Rossa, just outside his own 45-metre line. Sending it in towards the middle. Getting a hand to it was Dennis O'Driscoll, and he got it down for Don Davis. It goes over to the far side of the field. Chasing after him, Nemo backs. Mick McCarthy getting inside Niall Creighton, and that's another free for Skibbereen, and this time more realistic chance of putting it over the bar. On the 20-metre line to the left of the post. An easy enough angle from Mick McCarthy, but the wind, of course, to his back just might be a little bit tricky. Here he is, short little run up, dropping it in over the crossbar. The first score for O'Donovan Rossa of Skibbereen in the county final comes after 5 minutes and 38 seconds, and it's Mick McCarthy that does it.
Yeah, certainly that should settle the sides there now, and it should certainly settle Mick McCarthy as well. A vital stage to kick over a pint from, you know.
So Don Heafy taking his first kick out from the 20-metre line. First championship season. Had a great party a few weeks ago for his 21st. They've been concentrating on since the county final of 92. Centre half forward, Joe Driscoll, showing some nice skill. Available to his left is Brian O'Donovan, sending the ball quickly in towards John Brady, who's pushed and fouled by Paddy Dorgan. And this just a few metres to the left of the post. We're actually dead straight in front of the goal post on the 20-metre line. Mick McCarthy to take it. And this a relatively easy task. And this is what Skibbereen need in this first half, Niall.
That's certainly what they need. I think 2 unnecessary fouls by Nemo. Certainly after allowing Skibbereen a 2-point advantage already, you know.
That's exactly what it is. As Mick McCarthy puts it over. 2 points for freeze by the captain, Mick McCarthy. And Skibbereen will be very pleased with the way the game is going so far. They've settled now, 2 points up, 7 minutes gone in the first half. John Heaphy deciding to switch his kickouts to the far over side. Knocked away, and it's Nemo that pick up the break. This is right half forward Stephen Callan. The fine game in the All-Ireland Club final against Clonagale of Roscommon a few years ago. Comes into the full forward Peter Lambert, and that's a very good score. And there was a touch of class about that point. Got the ball, got the break, no messing around, a nice easy stroke over the bar.
Certainly they made it look very easy there. Marty came all the way. I think they had come all the way from the kick out. They made it certainly very easy looking all the way down the field, you know.
So the kick out by Kevin O'Dwyer on the 20-metre line. A gentleman dressed in all white, red collar and cuffs and red socks. And Kevin made his debut for O'Donovan Rossa at the age of 16 and a half. Shea Fahy, unable to hold on to it, comes down to Dennis O'Driscoll, who is fouled, wants to take it quickly. Gives it out to centre half-back Anthony Davis, who's free this side of the field, now passing the Nemo 45-metre line. With the left leg, drops in a dangerous ball. There's panic in Nemo, and it's a goal for Skibbereen. It looked all the way as if Nemo were in trouble, and it was a splendid goal. Centre half forward Joe O'Driscoll. Cork on the 21-92 gets a brilliant goal for O'Donovan Rossa.
That's right. It's typically again, Marty, of what we were saying is the high-hanging ball going in. Anthony saw it in with his right and threw it onto his left as a last resort. Dropped into the square, and Joe O'Driscoll got his hand to it and into the back of the net, you know. This will certainly settle Skibbereen at this stage.
A brilliant start for the men from West Cork. And here they come again. It's Ian Breen sending it into Mick McCarthy. Mick from 30 metres. Oh, that's a brilliant point by McCarthy. His first from play, his third of the afternoon. And already it must be said that Nemo are in a spot of bother, and particularly in the inside line. Their full back line, but Nemo full back line surprisingly finding it hard to cope.
Nemo full back line are certainly finding it very hard to cope. The Skib half-forward line seems to be, except for Joe O'Driscoll, seem to be playing out around centre field and leaving a lot of space in front of the full forward line. And Skibber dropping the ball well in front of the marker.
Skibbereen chasing and harassing everything. This is John Brady on the Nemo 45-metre line. Potty Dog and after, making good angle for himself, and he puts it over the bar. A brilliant point for the man from Cavan. He transferred from Lotter United a couple of years ago, and he's made a brilliant contribution to Skibbereen. So now, Mick McCarthy has 3 points, John Brady has 1, Joe Driscoll has a goal, and that gives you a total of 1-4. Peter Lambert, the man from Ardfinnan in County Tipperary, the only scorer so far for Nemo. But remember, O'Donovan Rossa playing with the breeze. 10.5 minutes gone, 1-4 to a point. Breaking out with it. It's Keith Horgan, and he is fouled, and it's a free up for Nemo. Shea Fahy, of course, that was fouled, and that free that was sent in, gathered by John Evans. Sending it back to John O'Donovan. Available. Another Skibbereen man, happens to be Brian O'Donovan. Sending it over to the goal scorer Joe Driscoll at the far side. There's no messing around. It's a quick ball into the full forward line. Mick McCarthy again has the facility of beating Niall Creedon so far. The two captains battling hard with each other, and it's McCarthy that was fouled. And right corner back Kevin Cowie being spoken to by the referee. This a rather difficult angle, a few metres in from the sideline, far side of the field. Dead smack in the centre between the 20 and 45-metre line. Going to be taken by Mick McCarthy. Quickly to his corner forward. Going for a point. It's a high dropping ball, but it's tailing to the right and wide. And Mick just telling his colleague that he should have passed it back to him, that he was in a better position. But so far, after 11 minutes, really, O'Donovan Rossa couldn't have asked for a better start. Don Heafy, in his first championship season, dressed in a green jersey, white togs, socks down around the ankles. The break again falls to Don Davis of Skibbereen. Garda giving it to the teacher at St. Faulkner's, John Brady. A McKenna Cup holder from Cavan. Fouled by Paddy Dorgan. And again, the Nemo full back line in a spotter bother.
Certainly in a spotter bother, Marty. Again giving away quite stupid frees, actually, you know. At this stage of the game, it looks like as if Skibbereen are the club playing with all the county medals, you know what I mean? Nemo certainly haven't settled it all at all in this game.
So facing into the breeze, Nemo Rangers with wind advantage. John Brady on the 13-metre line, of 10-15 metres in from the sideline, and he hits it beautifully over the bar. Skibbereen are on song, his second point of the afternoon, and the PE teacher, 28-year-old John Brady, doing very well in the corner. It's 1-5 for O'Donovan Rossa, 1 point for Nemo Rangers, 12 and a half minutes gone in the first half. The kick out by Don Heafy, sending it down the middle. Dennis O'Driscoll looking for the break, but it's gathered, half intercepted. And Joe O'Driscoll fouling his marker there. So it's a free for Nemo. Timmy Dalton anxious to take it. But because Gino O'Driscoll wouldn't give him the ball quickly enough, he gets an extra few metres. Easily cut out by John O'Donovan. It's good play by Nemo, by O'Donovan Rossa so far. John Brady, first to the ball. Paddy Dorgan getting a hand to it. Gives it to Jimmy Kerrigan. This is Dennis O'Sullivan, teacher in St. Aidan's in Dublin Hill. Easily anticipated and well played by John O'Donovan, the electrical engineer at the National Microelectronics Research Centre at UCC. Giving it down to the Garda, John Davis, now after switching wings. Plenty of Skibbereen players. One of them happens to be the centre half-back, Anthony Davis, the detective Garda, being pushed and fouled by Stephen Muldoon and Niall Creedon between them, and it's another free in for Skibbereen. And make no mistake about it, Nemo Rangers are under pressure in their defence and they're fouling too easily.
Certainly under a lot of pressure, fouling too easily. Again, a scoreable chance for Skibbereen. The thing about it is, as well as that, Skibber winning all the breaks along centre field, Marty.
And they're so vital as John Brady takes this free, this side of the field, about 25-30 metres out, favours the left leg, and he hits it nicely, dropping in under the crossbar. Don Heafy reads it well, gives it out to Tony Nation from the Doyle Road in Turner's Cross. Spot a bother, Niall Creedon, and it's good play by Skibbereen. They're harassing Nemo, they're not allowing them to play this running game at all.
That's right, Marty. Skibber down on top of them at every beck and call they're in, and they're harassing, they're tackling, and in a situation like that, there's no harm in giving away a free 25 yards in your opposition goal, you know what I mean.
Poor kick by Paddy Dorgan, runs along the pitch. Timmy Dalton calls for it and gathers it. Stephen Muldoon from Belfast sending it up towards full forward Peter Lambert. John O'Donovan staying with him. Still Lambert giving it back to Colin Corkery. Back to Lambert, got inside his marker. Still Lambert onto the left. Oh, lovely skill by Lambert. Score on here. Back to centre half forward. Effie Fitzgerald, and blocked by the Skibbereen defence. But Lambert showing his class there. Still Effie Fitzgerald, and taking too many steps with the ball is Effie Fitzgerald, and it's a free out for Skibbereen. But really, there was an opportunity for Lambert. He should have possibly gone it alone, really.
Yeah, he should have gone it alone at that stage, Marty. Certainly, he was inside the edge of the large parallelogram. So certainly should have taken his own chance.
John Evans driving it down this side. Tony Nation knocking it down to Timmy Dalton. John Brady chasing after him as Dalton goes past the Skibbereen 65-metre line. Colin Corkery got inside, getting inside his marker. Oh, and it gives it straight to Frank McCarthy. There was an overlap. Joe Kavanagh was gone inside. And it's good play by O'Donovan Rossa as they come forward, playing a good possession type of game. Getting it down to Neville Murphy. Cutting inside as if Kevin Cowie wasn't there. Still Neville Murphy. He has a man free inside. This is good play by Skibbereen. Pat Davis sending it high and sending it to left and wide. That's marvellous play by Skibbereen, because For a moment at one end, it looked like they were going to concede a goal, and within a couple of seconds they were down at the other end, missing an opportunity for a point.
That's right, they moved the ball very efficiently down the field and played it safe on all occasions. There was no stupid passing. Nemo have given away 2 or 3 stupid passes above here inside their own 25-yard line, you know. Colin Cottery that time winning possession should have certainly gone for a score or taken it in himself. Delayed a bit too much in his pass and just intercepted it.
Back to the action is Mick McCarthy over at the far side, gathering it in towards the corner flag, now coming out with it beyond the Nemo 20-metre line. He's now giving it back to his midfield man, Dennis O'Driscoll, who drops in an old-fashioned Gary Owen, and well gathered by Kevin Cowie. He sends the ball over to this side. And coming to meet it is Gene O'Driscoll. Effie Fitzgerald chasing after him. Back to John Brady. Skibbereen always available for a colleague. Pat Davis giving it inside to Dennis O'Driscoll, and that looked like to be a fair shoulder, but it wasn't, says the referee. Charging, so it's a free for Nemo. This is going to be taken by Don Heafy on the 20-metre line. Remember the score, it's 1-5 to 1 point. Now 17.5 minutes gone. Shea Fahy giving it to Tony Nation, running onto it, past the Skibbereen 65, giving a good ball down to Colin Corkery. Available at the far side is Stephen Callan. Looking for a bit of support, he holds onto it. Just gone past now the Skibbereen 45-metre line. Stephen Callan bursting his way past the 20, taking a shot and sending it across the face of the goal and sending it wide. So the scoreline remains the same, 1-5 for Skibbereen, 1 point for Nemo, 18.5 minutes gone in the first half. And Nemo, who have only lost 1 match in fact this year, and I believe that happened to be to a certain team called Castlehaven.
Yeah, we played them there about, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, Marty, actually, in the Keller Shield, but they were pretty short the same night. No, we were short, but you know, I suppose when you're out the championship, the Keller Shield really you use as preparation for championship.
Effie Fitzgerald seemed to have fouled as he gathered possession, so Tony Davis sends it down. A long ball again aimed at Mick McCarthy. Niall Creedon getting a boot to it and gets there ahead of Don Davis, but Don Davis responds splendidly. Magnificent play by the left half forward, winning the possession back, and Niall Creedon unceremoniously bringing down Don Davis with a very high challenge, born more out of frustration than anything else. And Niall Creedon, the Nemo captain, will definitely be booked for that challenge on the Skibbereen left half forward. So the former Green Hills resident, now living in Bishopstown, an electrician by profession, becomes the first Nemo man to be booked in this county final. And once again, it's an opportunity for Skibbereen to establish their lead and enhance it by putting this one over the bar. Playing with wind advantage, 1-5 to 1 point as we approach the 20th minute of this first half of the county final. Mick McCarthy didn't get behind it at all, drives it in low. Paddy Dorgan gathers it up. Stephen Callan. Dorgan forming the overlap. Gone outside is Jimmy Kerrigan. Callan decides to kick it instead towards Effie Fitzgerald. And Effie is having a right tussle with the referee because once again deemed to have been pushing, this time on Gene O'Driscoll. And fruit and vegetable wholesaler Gene O'Driscoll gets the free. Anthony Davis to take it. Just inches inside the Nemo 65, and interestingly the umpire is coming out to talk to the referee, Richard Murphy, spotting the fact that Joe Driscoll was fouled by Stephen Muldoon off the ball, and the umpire came way out. Tony Nation is now having words with the umpire, and it's interesting to see what happens here. And referee Richard Murphy is calling Joe Driscoll and Stephen Muldoon together. But good work by the umpire to consult the referee, get his attention, Niall.
Certainly it was, there's no doubt about that. I'd say the two of them must have been having a bit of a tussle in their own there. The umpire, I just see, Marty, that the linesman actually on this side spotted it as well because he was out nearly into the middle of the field, you know.
So in fact, Niall, Joe Driscoll and Stephen Muldoon being booked by the referee. Interesting that when we were talking just before the match started that Stephen Muldoon plays it hard and fair, and I suppose he's overstepped the mark on this occasion.
He has deemed to have overstepped it anyway, Marty.
The referee has given a penalty for pushing on Mick McCarthy. It looks like Mick McCarthy at least, and the referee had no hesitation to give a penalty. I think Nemo would question this decision because it looked as if the Skibbereen men just slipped, but Richard Murphy had no hesitation from out the field to give a penalty. An amazing decision, really. But this could well win the championship for Skibbereen. They lead by 1-5 to a point. 22 minutes gone in the first half, and it's Mick McCarthy to take it. Nemo protested, not adamantly, mind you, but Richard Murphy had no hesitation, it must be said. I didn't think it was a penalty myself, but here comes McCarthy. Low, and he drives it wide. Well, maybe justice was done, because Mick McCarthy puts his hands up to his head, but that he drove in low and hard and to the right of the post. And Nemo, you can see, the clenched fists are there. Now they're back in this match. That was a let-off.
Certainly that has let Nemo off the hook there on that occasion. I think maybe that Mick might have even gone for a pint if he had any doubt about it himself, you know. As I know, penalties aren't easy scored in Cork, with you, Marty.
But we won't comment on that one now. The kick out lands in the middle. Tony Nation pulling on it first time, sending a ball up towards Dennis O'Sullivan, coming out to gather it. Peter Lambert, in fact. Now it is Dennis O'Sullivan running onto it. Tony Nation. Great running by the left half-back, cutting through the Skibbereen defence. Fouled by Skibbereen, and this is an opportunity now for Nemo to put their name on the scoreboard once again. But that's what you've got to watch from Nemo, is the running off the ball. They're experts at it, probably the best club team in the country at it, never mind in Cork. And that run by Tony Nation creating the foul, and a free in for Nemo Rangers. To take it, Colin Corkery from Pierce Road, Ballyfahad, outside the 20-metre line. About to take it there, but Pat Davis made a run just in front of it, and Corkery hits it nicely and sweetly over the bar. The second point of the afternoon so far for Nemo, almost on the 24th minute, and both points scored by players in the full forward line. Peter Lambert from playing, Colin Corkery from a free. So 24 minutes gone. The scoreline, O'Donovan Rossa 1-5, Nemo Rangers 2 points. And also, in case you've just joined us, Mick McCarthy driving and O'Donovan Rossa Skibbereen penalty wide. Much to talk about in this first half, and most entertaining. Maybe not be brilliant football, but certainly the crowd here, an approximate attendance of 10,000. Thoroughly enjoying so far, particularly if you're from West Cork, and if you're leading by 6 points at the moment. Hot ball in the centre of the field. Referee gives the free to Nemo Rangers. It's Shea Fahy gaining an extra few metres. A little bit of silliness by Don Davis trying to knock the ball out of his hand. So now inside, dead smack in front of the Skibbereen goalpost, just inside the 65. Fahy drops it down, comes to Stephen Canlon, and an easy ball for Kevin Dwyer. Giving it out to Gino Driscoll. This side of the field, cutting across, just a few metres inside his own 45. Short passing, a little bit too short, but Dennis O'Driscoll manages to get it back to Gino Driscoll. A ball which Paddy Dorgan gathers just outside his own 45. This side of the field, Shea Fahy fisting it to Effie Fitzgerald, to Tony Nation. Nemo beginning to settle now as a result of that let-off of that penalty. The ball inside to Colin Corkery, but referee had blown his whistle for a foul on Tony Nation, not liking the challenge by the Skibbereen man. So it's a free, again virtually dead straight in front of the post, just a few metres inside the Skibbereen 45-metre line. Colin Corkery to take it. Man who scored a goal against Beara, returned in 91 from Australia. Corkery, a player of great potential, sends that nicely over the bar, and Nemo, slowly but surely in this first half, are getting back into the match. They've scored 2 points since that missed penalty. It could well be a turning point in this championship match.
Certainly, and there now, their last 2 scores have come from frees from Colin Corkery. With my experience of Colin from training with Cork and things like that, certainly you cannot afford to give him a place ball inside the 50-yard line.
The crowd in the stand here on Park Keeve out shouting their Nemo opponents, very much so. It's all Skibbereen in the crowd. But it's Nemo with possession. Jimmy Kerrigan, the line-hearted Jimmy, sending it down quickly. Well read, however, by Frank McCarthy. And that's a free for Nemo Rangers. And just since that penalty, and I'm not overstating it by any means, Skibbereen seems to have lost their way in the last few minutes. Nemo gaining in terms of possession and superiority, as the free going to be taken at the far side, just outside the Skibbereen 45-metre line. Shea Fahy driving it in, but that's going into no man's land. A terrible goal by Shea Fahy, which Colin Corkery gives him a little bit of a finger wagging, and Shea acknowledges that it wasn't one of his best. So it's a kick out for Kevin O'Dwyer on his own 5-metre rectangle there at the city end, to the left of his post as such from his point of view. And Kevin this time with the socks down on the ankles, going to take the kick out. 27 minutes gone in the first half. Skibbereen leading by 1-5 to 3 points. Can they hold on to that lead? Can they add to it? They certainly would want to, because they'll have to face a breeze and a rampant Nemo side behind it in the second half. Giles Creedon getting his first possession in terms of a battle won ahead of Mick McCarthy. Gives it in towards Joe Kavanagh. Dangerous ball, knocked away rather clumsily by John O'Donovan, and the referee gives the free to Skibbereen on their own 13-metre line. Effie Fitzgerald again the guilty party, fouling his marker. And the player in question still down as Richard Murphy tells player to get up, but I don't think he's going to get up too easily. The first aid now coming into him on the 13-metre line. But Effie Fitzgerald really hasn't gotten into this match yet, Niall, fouling a lot.
No, hasn't got into it at all, and has even come back into their own defence and given away a stupid free on one occasion, you know.
So we're coming up to the half-time whistle, Niall. It's 1-5 to 3. Your thoughts at this stage?
Well, certainly Skibbereen have surprised me at this stage. They seem to be the team that are using the open spaces in Park Keeve and not Nemo, you know. They seem to be playing the ball well. They're playing it well out of defence. They have only been caught for 2 frees, you know. They certainly I'll give you a good account of themselves so far.
Gino Driscoll is able to resume his position at right half back. Kevin O'Dwyer taking the free on the 13-metre line. Drops it into the middle. Pushing by John Brady, and John Brady is constantly arguing with the referee, and he's now being booked for dissent by Richard Murphy. So it's another free for Nemo. Shea Fahy to take it. He's down in the programme as wearing number 16, but in fact wearing number 17. And this free just a few metres inside the Skibbereen 65-metre line. And Nemo slowly but surely getting back into this match. Fahy's free, a better one this time. Well gathered, superbly gathered by John O'Donovan. Gino Driscoll dropping it down towards Joe Driscoll, knocked away by Stephen Muldoon. John O'Brady unable to hold on to it. Comes back to Shea Fahy, again spreading the ball over to the far side. Ian Breen trying to pick it up. Frank McCarthy is there. Available is Anthony Davis at centre half back. Sides against using the fisted pass and drives it long and through down towards Mick McCarthy. Knocks it down towards Neville Murphy. Neville cutting inside, chasing after him. This guy Creedon, but Neville goes it alone and he sends it off, dear, just a few inches to the right and wide, and that was certainly a let off for Nemo. And that's really the first time they've threatened since that missed penalty.
That's right, it has been the first time they've threatened since the missed penalty, and certainly a score at that stage there would have killed Nemo's comeback again, you know.
So Don Heafy kicks the ball out, but we've reached the half-time mark. Half an hour gone. A most interesting first half, not brilliant by any means, but most entertaining. Missed penalty by Skibbereen could well be a turning point, but Skibbereen, the men from West Cork, playing extremely well, and they go in at half-time leading by 1-5 to 3. And before we go anywhere else, Niall, just let me ask you, would you be satisfied if you were a Skibbereen man going in at half-time and facing the breeze in the second half?
Certainly, they have a 5-point lead, a 5-point advantage. they still have to come out in the second half with all guns blazing. Because knowing Nemo of old, Nemo had beaten until they're inside in the dressing room. But certainly Skibbereen are in a comfortable position.
So at half-time, they lead by 1-5 to 3 points. A splendid goal by Joe Driscoll in that first half from a long probing ball from Anthony Davis. So at half-time in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, it's O'Donovan Rossa appearing their very first final, leading by 1-5 to Nemo Rangers, 3 points, as we take a brief commercial break.
Comes to beds, King Coil and O'Dearest. Ballincollig Furniture at Maglin have a huge selection of quality kitchen, dining and occasional furniture and are open 7 days a week with ample parking.
So I'll eventually get it right. 1-5 to 3. Richard Murphy throws in the ball and Skibbereen facing the strong breeze in the second half. The ball from Dennis O'Driscoll goes straight to Joe O'Driscoll, centre half forward. Coming outside him is John Brady. Inside the Nemo 45-metre line. A point here for Skibbereen would settle them. Great defending by Nemo, and it's Jimmy Kerrigan that picks up the break. Taking his eye off it, but he manages to get it out for Stephen Muldoon. Pulled on. Falls to Effie Fitzgerald, but the line ball goes to Nemo Rangers. Stephen Muldoon, former St. Paul's Belfast player, chemical engineer with FMC in Little Island, sending it ball down towards John Evans. John sending it back out over the line, another line ball for Nemo Rangers. This time just outside their own 65-metre line, far side of the field. Nemo Rangers playing with the breeze in the second half. No alterations to either side, and it's Tony Nation to drop the ball in deep into Skibbereen territory. John O'Donovan anticipating well. Not happy to escort it out over the end line, and comes soaring out to his 13-metre line. Gives it over to Frank McCarthy, student in University College Limerick, trying to solo out with it, under pressure from Stephen Callan, picked up by Ian Green. Trying to get it back to Frank McCarthy. Suffered a hefty shoulder from Jimmy Kerrigan, but hops back into the action, limping. And it's Don Davis that picks the ball up, crossing the Nemo 45. This is Joe Driscoll cutting through like a knife through butter, giving it outside to Pat Davis. This is great play. That's a superb lockdown. That's great defending. Kevin Cowie, they call him Nancy around Turner's Cross, but Nancy came to the rescue of Nemo Rangers. It looked like a certain goal for the Skibbereen men, denied brilliantly by Kevin Cowie. Pat Davis knocked away, comes to Timmy Dalton, trying to bust his way out, and Timmy, such a stalwart in Nemo Rangers, living now in Marybury Hill, captain Cork to an under-21 All-Ireland in 1980. This going to be taken by Niall Creedon. His brother Dave was man of the match in the 88 county final. Can he lead Nemo to a county football championship title? Gathered in midfield by Dennis O'Driscoll, with 3 Nemo players around him. He gives it to Ian Breen, to Don Davis, this side of the field, crossing the Nemo 65. Stephen Callan chasing after him. So too is Timmy Dalton, but it's still Don Davis giving it outside. It's good play by Skibbereen, holding on to the ball. This is Mick McCarthy, going on a bit of a tour across Páirc Uí Chaoimh, decides giving a fisted pass. Now gives it, this time to Pat Davis in a good scoring position, but a very poor effort by Davis, after great work by Mick McCarthy to get into a good scoring position. They need a score just to settle them now.
Certainly, Skib need a score there now. Pat Davis certainly had a chance of a score there after a lot of hard work by and good work by Mick McCarthy, and all came to nothing, you know.
Just a few statistics for you. Skibbereen had 7 wides in the first half. Nemo had only just 2. And you can make that now, Skibbereen with a total of 8 wides. Nemo into the attack, getting it down towards Colin Corkery. Only 3 Nemo forwards inside the 45-metre line. There's a lot more now as Skibbereen come back into the defence. This is Timmy Dalton. Good scoring position from 35 metres out. Drops it high and drops it wide. Unusual for Timmy. But on this occasion, he drives it to the right and wide. So it's still 1-5 to 3 points. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. Kevin O'Dwyer. Be interested to see the distance he can get in this kick out. Taking his kick from this side of the goalpost, stand side. Richard Murphy, the referee, just telling Colin Corkery to get outside the 20-metre line with John Evans. Here's O'Dwyer running up. Good long lengthy kick dropping right here in front of us. Knocked away by Ian Breen. Some pushing, however, by Dennis O'Driscoll, and the free quickly taken dropping in, and Kevin O'Dwyer escorting it all over the line. Colin Corkery telling the umpire to open his eyes. John Evans, he felt it was fouling him, but the umpire was having none of it. So another kick out for Kevin O'Dwyer. Racing into the breeze. Kevin taking all the time in the world. Now running up to take the kick. Decides to drop it in towards the middle. Shea Fahey. Dennis O'Driscoll getting a hand to it, but Dennis O'Driscoll fouling Shea Fahey. And Skinner in a bit of bother there, as he's affectionately called around Skip. And coming out to take it is Colin Corkery. Colin just outside the 45-metre line now.
I was surprised there actually, Marty, that Nemo didn't wait for Colin to come out and take the last free, you know, because he was inside the 45.
So Colin Corkery indicating to the referee. Skibbereen man was a little bit too near, but it comes to Effie Fitzgerald. Back to Stephen Callanan. And that's a point for Nemo. Good play by Nemo Rangers. Simplicity again. Doing the simple things well. And now just 4 points between the sides. And slowly but surely, Nemo are very patient. They're taking their points and they're very much in contention.
Certainly they're coming back into the game. They're looking a lot sharper than what they did in the first 30 minutes, Marty. You know, even that free there now from Colin Corkery that came in deep for this juggle, and they took their nice handy point out of it, you know.
Kevin O'Dwyer with the kick out from the 20-metre line. Just to the right of midfield. Comes down towards Dennis O'Sullivan, sending in a testing ball which is tailing to the left and wide. And Colin Corkery indicating to Dennis, I wanted it dropped in front of me. And I think, to be honest, to Colin Corkery, that's good advice to Dennis O'Sullivan.
Oh, certainly. Dennis there now had a pot shot from nearly 60 yards, you know. Should have put it in front of Colin Corkery, who was coming out in front of his marker for it, you know.
Interesting, Niall, that Peter Lambert and Colin Corkery seem to be switching positions all the time, fading in and out of the full forward position as Jimmy Dalton goes through. Jimmy Kerrigan was running outside him, but Gino O'Driscoll deemed guilty of fouling Timmy, and it's another free in for Nemo Rangers, this time on about 35 metres out, and should be a relatively easy one for Colin Corkery.
That's right, should be a relatively easy one. And interesting again there, Marty, I see where Jimmy Kerrigan had got inside all the backs at that stage, that if he had got the ball and he was actually, he had a clean shot at his goal, at the goalkeeper.
Colin Corkery with the free, and as Niall was saying, in the first half, he really is deadly on these frees, and he puts that one over the bar, making it 1-5 to 5 points. So all that separates Skibbereen and Nemo now is Joe Driscoll's goal. And that penalty keeps coming back into my mind. Anyway, how vital it could well turn out to be.
That's right, Marty. Certainly it could be the vital score at the end of the game. And I see where Nemo have made a positional switch, bringing Dennis Sullivan to centre field, and bringing Dennis Sullivan to centre field and putting Jimmy Dalton at centre forward.
And just as he was mentioning Dennis O'Sullivan, threw booted the ball that was loose, and nothing anyway dirty or anything like that, but the referee didn't like it, so he's giving a free to Anthony Davis, the centre of the pitch, hitting it smartly. Kevin Cowie underneath it, knocks it down for Jimmy Kerrigan to pick it up. 33-year-old from Grange gives it to Tony Nation, sending it way over towards Peter Lambert, over by the far over touchline, and that's going to be a line ball for Skibbereen. Good play by John O'Donovan, in fairness. Harassed without fouling him. John Brady loose around the centre. Gets inside Paddy Dorgan, giving it to Tony Davis, coming through, past the Nemo 45, approaching the 20-metre line. Attempts a hand pass, gets it inside to Mick McCarthy. Despite the attention of 3 Nemo players, he sends it in and he sends it wide. And still no score in the second half for Skibbereen, with 8.5 minutes gone. It's 1-5 for Skibbereen, 5 points for Nemo Rangers.
Surprisingly enough there, Marty, actually Anthony Davis should have gone for his own score. He was inside the 30-metre line or whatever. He should have gone for his own score and opted to pass it instead, you know.
Don Heafy's kick out, knocking down. Joe Driscoll can't get a boot to it. Stephen Muldoon does. Coming through like a bullet is Ian Breen. Great determination. The left half back from Skibbereen. He gives it to John Brady. Trying to get past Stephen Callan. Brady in a spot of bother. Gives it back to Mick McCarthy. Has to go down in his second time to gather it. Bursts his way past Jimmy Kerrigan. Still McCarthy. Onto the right boot. Dropping it dangerously in. And well gathered. Superbly gathered by Stephen Muldoon. Well played by the Nemo centre half back. Shea Fahy going down to help out his defence as they build in the traditional style of Nemo, running off the ball, still fisting it out. Now they've got Stephen Muldoon around the centre half back position. Took his eye off it just for a moment, but goes back to gather it. Question of maybe he took it off the ground. The crowd seem to think so. And Skibbereen, Harris and Chase, but that's going to be a free for Kevin Cowie, and Kevin not liking the challenge, quickly taken. A substitute coming on for Nemo, that's Paul O'Donovan. As Paul O'Donovan tries to give slip of paper, but this play is continuing on. It's Timmy Dalton giving it inside to Peter Lambert. Goal on here, and he puts it over the bar. And that was definitely down as goal. Opportunity Ibrahim for Nemo Rangers. Now Paul O'Donovan can give the slip of paper to the referee. But a goal chance there for Nemo.
Certainly it was a golden chance for a goal. Had got inside the backs, you know, and I see where, as you were saying, Marty, Nemo are making a lot of positional changes. They brought on a sub, and they certainly seem to be throwing the ball around fairly well at this stage.
Question now is who's going off for Nemo.
I think Efi Fitzgerald looks to be the man that's coming off.
I don't think Efi has been told. Now it looks
actually,
like
it is Peter Lambert they're bringing off, Marty. You know, they would have been in some predicament if he had put that in the back of the net. He would just take him off straight away, you know.
A little bit of a surprise decision, I would have thought now, because I think so. Dangerous every time.
Yeah, I think so. He has certainly looked dangerous in position, you know.
So Peter Lambert goes off. I wonder what Dinny and Michael Gordon would have done if he'd scored the goal there. Referee decides it's going to be a hot ball. A little bit of argy-bargy going on between Don Davis and Paddy Dorgan. As Nemo's Jimmy Kerrigan seems to have picked up an injury. He tells Timmy Dalton he's all right. And this is going to be a hot ball. Shea Fahy and Brian O'Donovan. Rhino and Skinner at midfield for Skibbereen. Dennis O'Driscoll and Brian O'Donovan. And it's Skinner that leaps high into the clouds. Comes down with it and gets the free eventually. Jimmy Kerrigan and Dennis O'Sullivan are annoyed over the decision.
I think what they're protesting there, Marty, is that the throw-in was between Brian O'Donovan and Shea Fahy, and Dennis O'Driscoll jumped in from the side and won it.
Ian Breen, another guard on this Skibbereen team, dropping it in dangerously. Gathers, and great blocking down. O'Driscoll trying to get a boot to it. Nemo players protesting, and the referee saw it as well. Skibbereen man touching the ball on the ground on the 13-metre line, so it's a free out for Nemo Rangers. 12 minutes gone in the second half. The scoreline, O'Donovan Rossa won 5, Nemo Rangers 6 points. 2 points between the teams. 1-5 to 6. Skibbereen still holding on, and by no means anywhere near as impressive as they were in the first 15 minutes of this county final. Gino Driscoll with the ball. Timmy Dalton chasing after him, giving it to Don Davis, trying to take on Jimmy Kerrigan. Kerrigan fouling him, and a free for Skibbereen. And there's a tussle that started off the ball between Kerrigan and Davis, now continuing when they have possession. And Richard Murphy not liking the bit of retaliation by Jimmy Kerrigan when he just kicked out at the Skibbereen man, and Jimmy Kerrigan being booked. And to be honest with you, with 13 minutes gone in the second half, if the West Cork men want to win this championship, they really do need to score from this free. They've failed to do so far, and that's 13 minutes into the second half. Mick McCarthy to take it. Man with 2 All-Ireland senior football medals, going for the county championship. He hits it smartly, and he puts it over the bar. And crucial kick by Mick McCarthy. That's his 4th at the county final, and it puts 3 points between the sides.
Great score there for Mick McCarthy, even though he had stolen a couple of yards, I think, and that's what the Nemo players were protesting there, I think, just before he kicked it. But it's after putting the 3 points again between them, you know.
Skibbereen chant and cheer. 1-6 to 6 points, 14 minutes gone in the second half. Timmy Dalton picking up the break around midfield, getting inside Joe Driscoll, sending a ball in towards Colin Corkery, out first to it, ahead of John Evans. Jimmy Kerrigan, the right half back, going through good scoring position for Jimmy, and Kerrigan takes his point. Great play by the right half back, a man with 6 county championship medals, and the electrical estimator puts his name on the scoreboard for the first time in the 92 county final.
A great score there from Nemo to counteract the free Marty that Skibbereen had just scored, you know. And again, Jimmy Kerrigan popping up in virtually inside in the large parallelogram when he kicked it.
So the 3 points that Skibbereen so badly needed to just keep themselves a safe distance ahead, now reduced to 2 by Jimmy Kerrigan. 1-6 to 7. As we approach the 15th minute of the second half, Tony Davis getting the boot in. Tony Nation, his colleague and many times in the Cork football team in the same half-back line, not liking the fact that there was a sliding tackle. Referee wave play on, and now Nemo get that free. Far side, just a few metres in from the far over sideline, just outside their own 65. A long ball from Tony Nation, well gathered by Colin Corkery. Giving it back to Joe Kavanagh. Stephen Callan fouled, and it's a free in for Nemo. And again, this could be vital, because if Colin Corkery keeps up what Niall Callan thinks of him as a fine free taker and his consistency, it could be just 1 point between the sides.
Yeah, Colin Corkery is actually playing very well from play as well, Marty. He's after winning the last 2 balls that they have got 2 scores from there now, plus this one again, and has again punished Skibbereen by putting it over the bar, you know. Certainly they will have to do something with Colin Corkery, plus the fact that Timmy Dalton has been playing exceptionally well since he came centre forward.
So right down the middle at the moment, Nemo doing well, centre forward and full forward, and the scoreline is 1-6 to 8 points. As O'Donovan Rossa bring in Brian Carmody, a switch in the Skibbereen team. We'll see who goes off in a moment. But in case you've just joined us, which I'm sure that you haven't, you've been tuned in since 2:45. Skibbereen leading by just 1 point. So Skibbereen making the changes as Brian Carmody goes on, and Frank McCarthy goes off. As Skibbereen, in fact it's Pat Davis that goes off, as Don Davis goes forward. Referee says taking too many steps with the ball, and it's a free out for Nemo. So Pat Davis disappointed to be leaving this county final, but Brian Carmody introduced for Skibbereen. It's Ian Breen that sends it back up towards Carmody, getting his first touch. It breaks nicely for Joe Driscoll, cutting inside Tony Nation. Still O'Driscoll on the 13-metre line from a difficult angle, sends it high and sends it over the bar. That's a great point by Joe O'Driscoll, a player that knows where the goalposts are and has now got 1-1 in this county final. Good score now.
Certainly a great score. I actually thought that he was going to play it outside him to Mick McCarthy. There was an easier option on, but when you can take scores like that, why should you throw the ball around, you know?
So 1-7 to 8 points. Switches in the Nemo attack. Stephen Callan gone right corner forward. Joe Kavanagh now playing at right half forward, and Kavanagh's been very quiet this afternoon. Comes down towards Dennis O'Driscoll, the Skinner, giving it to his coach, Gene O'Driscoll, at right half back, running across into the centre, across to Don Davis, a Cork minor in '87, Munster Championship medal winner. Now he wants the county. Joe O'Driscoll, Cork under 21, in it dead straight in front of the post. A magnificent point by Joe O'Driscoll. He could well be the match winner for the men from West Cork. That is a great point by the Skibbereen man.
Certainly 2 great scores there from Joe O'Driscoll. At this stage he seems to be turning the game around all on his own, Marty.
We could well have man of the match in Joe O'Driscoll. 18.5 minutes gone in the second half. Nemo now trail by 1 goal, 1-8 to 8 points. From being just 1 point in front, Skibbereen, thanks to Joe O'Driscoll with 2 inspirational scores, have now put themselves back 3 points to the good. Referee delaying play for a moment. Dennis O'Driscoll has picked up a shoulder injury, and Anthony Davis being told to hold on to it. Referee has stopped play. Dennis is up on his feet, his right hand holding his left shoulder, just between the 45 and 65 metre line. in the centre of the field. Referee checking with the Skibbereen mentors that the midfielder can continue. Tony Goulding checking him out, saying you're okay. Much to the delight of the West Cork crowd. Anthony Davis to take the free. A few metres inside the Nemo 65. Dead smack in the centre of the pitch. Driving it in towards Mick McCarthy. Lovely play by McCarthy. Giving it back out to John Brady. Thrusting his way forward. And despite the attempts of 3 Nemo players, gets his kick in. Don Heafy knocking it down to his left cornerback, but he'd been fouled inside the square. So Don Heafy to take the free himself. But McCarthy did very well, despite 3 Nemo players being around him. It's Heafy on his own small rectangle, dropping it into the middle, knocked away by one man called Joe O'Driscoll. Still O'Driscoll forcing his way forward, calling outside is Devil Murphy, and brilliantly blocked down by the Nemo defence. 3 Nemo men combining there to keep Skibbereen at bay. To Don Davis, dropping it in and dropping it wide. They need to take every opportunity. But thanks to Joe O'Driscoll's inspiration, Skibbereen are rampant at the moment.
Joe O'Driscoll is playing exceptionally well at centre forward, laying off that ball to Neville Murphy, who should have put it over the bar, I think. There was Minin on top of him, blocking down. He could have even fisted it over the bar.
The kick out by Don Heafy. 20 minutes gone in the second half, and Skibbereen go through again. Niall Creedon just getting a touch to it from John Brady's pass into Mick McCarthy. Kerrigan being harassed and chased. Is Skibbereen inspired at the moment? This is their centre half back going through, passing the 20-metre line and driving it wide. These missed opportunities and the spell of superiority could well turn out to be detrimental to Skibbereen. As Nemo introduce another substitute, Conor Buckley is coming on. Dinny Allen making alterations. Stephen Muldoon coming off. Dinny Allen seeing exactly what Niall Callahan and myself were seeing up here, that Stephen was in trouble against Joe O'Driscoll. Kerrigan, I feel, will probably be moved to centre half back. Conor Buckley to right cornerback. As the referee tells Don Davis there are 9 minutes left in the county final. In fact, what they're doing is moving Jimmy Kerrigan to centre half back. Joe O'Driscoll has been moved to left half forward, and Kevin Cowie to right half back. Cowie trying to gather it, but it's Dennis O'Driscoll gets a boot to it. Conor Buckley just introduced, going past his own 13-metre line, inside his own 13-metre line, giving it outside to Niall Creedon, the Nemo captain, getting a boot to it, down right here in front of us, but from where the ball landed, the free is going to be, I would imagine, to Nemo. And the referee having a word with Mick McCarthy. The 2 captains have had a right old tussle in Páirc Uí Chaoimh this afternoon. And to be honest with you, Mick McCarthy has won the battle, but has he won the Andy Scandal Cup? That's the question. 8 minutes left in the clock. The scoreline, 1-8 for O'Donovan Rossa, 8 points for Nemo. And from where the ball landed, outside the Nemo 45, in between the Nemo 45 and 65-metre line. The referee gives a hot ball. Shea Fahy, the army man, brought down by Brian O'Donovan. And it must be said as well, as we're at midfield, Niall, that the Skibbereen midfield have done very well against Shea Fahy, Timmy Dalton, and indeed Dennis O'Sullivan.
Skibbereen midfielders have done exceptionally well throughout the game, in counteracting the threat from Timmy Dalton and Shea Fahy, and now Dennis O'Sullivan.
Right here in front of us, the linesman has put up his flag. Brian O'Donovan claims his innocence, but the linesman adamant that it is a sideline ball for Nemo. 1-8 to 8 points, I emphasise. Nemo trailing. Dennis O'Sullivan dropping a ball in towards Timmy Dalton. Nobody touches it, and the umpire agrees. A wide ball. A crucial kick by Dennis O'Sullivan going wide. Time ticking away. Skibbereen 7 minutes away from county senior championship glory. Nemo facing possibly only their 2nd defeat in 10 county finals. They lost their first in 72. They won the next 9. Can they come back?
Certainly they need a score. They definitely need a score at this stage. Skibbereen have taken over for the last 10 minutes or so, 5 minutes or so.
Stephen Callan from a breakdown from Colin Corkery going for a goal, and great blocking down by Ian Breen. It's gone all over the line. Stephen Callan certainly got a leg injury there, but a great block down by Ian Breen, because it looked, though it might have been difficult for Stephen Callan, there was a goal shot on at least.
Yeah, there was at least a shattered goal, you know what I mean? He possibly was moving away from the goal itself, out to the left-hand side as we look into the back racking, but there was a shattered goal in,
So Stephen Callan down inside the large rectangle at the moment. Referee telling Gino Driscoll that there are just 6 minutes left in actual playing time. With the injuries, there'll possibly be at least a minute and a half to 2 minutes added on. Plenty of time for Nemo. Stephen Callan limping, the left leg injured there thanks to that lockdown by Ian Breen. Perfectly legitimate, may I add. And out on the 45, to the left of the post is one Colin Corkery. The man from Ballyfahan hits it well and hits it to the left of the line. And that, as far as I can recall, is the first time he's missed a free.
Colin's first miss from baseball. Actually, Nemo are bringing on Peter Lambert again last day.
An amazing decision, really, when you think of it, that Nemo are bringing back on Peter Lambert. And for my money's worth, he possibly should never have been taken off.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. He looked dangerous in possession. He certainly looked dangerous, and he seemed to be moving well. He's on John O'Donovan, who is an exceptionally good full-back,
It's a possibility, possibly, now, and I'm only guessing here, that maybe in the confusion that it was the wrong man that was being taken off, because Effie really never got going today, and Effie is a fine player.
Could have happened, I think.
Timmy Dalton going through, looking for support. It comes to Joe Kavanagh, dead straight in front of the post, and it's a white flag for Nemo Rangers. 1-8 to 9 points. 26 minutes gone in the second half. 4 to go. Peter Lambert, the Tipperary man, is back on at the edge of the square. Stephen Callan playing corner forward. Joe Kavanagh getting his first point of the county final. Tension mounting in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. And there isn't a soul going to the exits. Nobody leaving, because everybody knows that when you're playing Nemo Rangers, a great club, you're not by any means victorious, as Niall said earlier, until Nemo in the dressing room. Shea Fahy going into the clouds, comes down with it and uses all his weight to get past the Skibbereen men. Tony Nation sending it up to Colin Corkery. John Evans just getting a touch to it. It's great play by John O'Donovan. The O'Donovan Rossa Skibbereen fullback, getting it down with good intelligent ball to Mick McCarthy. Looking for a little bit of support. Not there fast enough. Still McCarthy battles away. Knocked away from him, but it comes to Brian O'Donovan. Rhino giving it to the substitute, Brian Carmody, in a good position. Decides to cross it right across the face of the goal. Chasing after it this side is Joe O'Driscoll. Kevin Cowie with him. Still O'Driscoll, the man who certainly brought Skibbereen back into this county final. Giving it to Mick McCarthy. Mick going across the pitch on the 20-metre line. Not a great pass. But fouled. John Brady is fouled by Timmy Dalton, and it's a free in for Skibbereen, and that should give them a little bit of breathing space, and if he puts it over the bar, certainly will re-establish Skibbereen's 3-point lead. It's just to the left of the post. Mick McCarthy to take it. 4 points to his credit, going for his 5th. Sends it over the crossbar, and Skibbereen are now 1-9. Nemo 9 points. By our stopwatch, we have now reached exactly the 28th minute of the second half. 2 to go. 3 points between the sides.
3 points between the sides. Nemo certainly at this stage it looks like as if they need a goal,
Don Heapy with the kick out. 2 Skibbereen players going up for it. And it's Don Davis that comes down with it. The bonfires already in Skibbereen. But will they be lit? There's only 2 minutes left. Great ball inside to Rhino. The student, former Rockwell College star, sends it across the face of the goal bar. Joe Driscoll trying to keep it in. Succeeds in doing so. The umpire was right beside him. Still O'Driscoll with the outside of his boot. Connected the other way! Goal for Skibbereen! The Rhino has done it for the West Cork men. Now you can light the bonfires. Mick McCarthy falls to the ground. The mighty Nemo have fallen. A marvellous goal for Skibbereen.
goal, there's no doubt about it. Again, Georges will have made that goal, Marty.
And here they come again. Jimmy Kerrigan with a high challenge on Don Davis. Don Davis didn't like it, but the referee's decision goes to Nemo. A marvellous display by Skibbereen. John Evans underneath it, but Colin Corkery gathers it, gives it to Lambert. Goal on here, and a fine save by Kevin O'Dwyer. Gathers it at the second attempt, and a high boot by Colin Corkery. The referee spotted it as well, in an attempt to block down O'Dwyer's clearance. It's a free to Kevin O'Dwyer and Skibbereen. 29 minutes, 44 seconds. It must be over for Nemo. They've only lost one match in the whole season, and that was to Castlehaven by 1 point in the Kelleher Shield. They've been 3 times county semi-finalists over the last 3 years. They've always been there or thereabouts, but today, the day belongs to Skibbereen and not to Nemo. Well, the Skibbereen lads said during the week they were inspired by Castlehaven. If Castlehaven could do it, or Rossa could do it.
Yeah, well, effectively we'd be bordering one another at home in West Cork, you know. Skibbereen actually, I suppose, we would regard as town, you know.
Great boost to football, though.
Certainly it is in our locations, definitely.
The red and white flags everywhere to be seen now. And Nemo, a sporting club, will no doubt be the first to congratulate the men from the West. And maybe that decision to play against the breeze in the first half was not so good after all. Lambert, again, posing a problem and sending over another point. That's 3 points for Peter Lambert, a man who was substituted and brought back on. And the referee has blown the final whistle. Skibbereen or Rossa are county champions 1992. Tony Davis runs to the fans and absolutely falls to the ground. The dream has become a reality for the town and the parish of Skibbereen. Nemo, the mighty Nemo, have fallen only for the second time in their illustrious history. It's been done impressively by the men from Skibbereen.
Certainly the Skibbereen looked very impressive, there's no doubt about it. They went out of the game for about, I suppose, 15 minutes of the second half and came back into it again. It looked halfway through the second half as if Nemo had taken over. Certainly due to, I think, Joe Driscoll more than anybody else.
When they needed him most, he responded with 2 brilliant points.
That's right, and he actually made the last goal for them there as well, you know. But Nemo's decision to take off Peter Lambert was totally amazing, because he certainly seemed to me to be the one forward they had that looked to be able to get inside his marker and get shots at goal.
Amazing decision. I'm sure it will be spoken of for a long time to come. I just feel that possibly it is only a possibility that there was confusion, that Effie Fitzgerald was actually the man that should have been taken off.
Yeah, it looked like it. There certainly was an awful lot of confusion at that time. They didn't seem to know who was coming off.
When they got the...
The Under-Senior Cup for the Cork County Senior Football Championship will now be presented by Carmelos Koshakute and Tona Mahuna to the victorious captain of Rossa, Paul McCarthy.
Hermed här av Skibbereen, och vann man på bordet på Portugal, av Springen Guan, men var I'm clear by sport all of the going. I would like on behalf of the board to pay tribute to both teams for the wonderful game which they gave us. A great game of skill and sportsmanship. I think we should extend our compliments and thanks to Nemo Rangers, who have given a lot to football down through the years and certainly played a big part in making this year's championship so enjoyable. And we say thanks to them for what they have done for our games in their locality. Billy, of course, belongs to the Odin and Rossa. It is certainly a great occasion for them to win the County Senior Football Championship at their first attempt in the final. And their policy of paying attention to youth has paid off here in no uncertain terms, and we salute them for that. I should as well say a sincere word of thanks to our referee, Richard Murphy, and his officials for their very competent handling of the game. And now, as we wish O'Donovan Rossa well, and I am sure dear old Skibbereen will be held around West Cork this evening. It is my pleasure to present the cup to a very worthy captain, Mick McCarthy.
What can I say? It's Skibbereen's here! On behalf of the team, I would like to thank the huge, fantastic effort, the super effort that our backroom team has done this year. Tony Goulding, Sean Lucy, Martin Crowley, and Nicky Bond. I left the last man. I left the last man out. The man who put the biggest effort of all into this. He trained the team, he played on the team, he coached the team, he motivated the team. I speak of no one other than Gene Anderson. Gene, a huge welcome from us all. A cracker winning. The sponsors, I would like to thank the sponsors also for their great support, and the whole town for playing the red and white for the whole week. Everyone from both sides, it lifts the spirit up in us. I thank everyone. The supporters, we love you. Nemo gave us a huge, superb sporting game today. I would like to thank Nemo for a great game, and I'd like to have 3 cheers for Nemo. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! I think it's time for a few points and to take the cup back to the River Island! Oh, Father, I say, you speak of Valentine. How lovely things and valley things, of mountain food and wine. Yes, it's a lovely land, wherein a place like that. And why did you
been messing with. Huh?
Would the father of Killian Long please collect him at the shop under the covered stand? The father of Killian Long, please collect him at the shop under the covered stand.
Brilliant!
brilliant.